Hello and welcome, Daljit. Really nice to have you. You've got few nice projects going on. I don't know if we can talk about all of them, but I'm gonna try to pick your brain. And I think that we met on the seminar with Paul and Michelle Enfield several
Good
years
memory.
back, and we kind of stayed in touch and following each other and helping each other a little bit to grow in our all adventures and ventures with martial arts. How are you today?
Yeah, really well. Thanks, really well. Thanks for inviting me on. Just appreciate it. And I did say to you, I thought to myself, I'm not anyone really important. You normally have like some quite big people on there, and I'm sort of nobody to be coming on here. But yeah, appreciate it. And as you say, that's a good memory of when we met quite some time ago. Interestingly, it's roughly the same time, not too far off when I started teaching. But this month, I don't know the exact date, but this month is my 6 year anniversary of teaching, of starting the
Congratulations.
club. Thank you.
Congratulations. So start with a bit of a cliche. How did you get into martial arts? I know everybody asks, but hey ho, you're
I'm gonna give you the boring answer, but it's the truth. It's Bruce Lee, man. As a kid, I can remember probably shouldn't have been watching Enter the Dragon as young as I was, but I remember back in the day as well. Do you remember when you had to wait for movies to come out from the cinema to VHS
Mm,
but it was like 2 years or something before it
yeah.
came out. Nowadays it's like instant almost, right? So yeah, and I remember Enter the Dragon. One of my uncles had it on VHS and stuff, and I was like, "What is this? Martial arts situation going on here?" Yeah, just got really into it from that. So I have memories of, being up late at night at the age of, I don't know, I'm gonna say 11 maybe, being up late at night, parents are upstairs asleep, and there's me trying to see how high I could do a round kick on a door, and then occasionally clipping the door and then getting shouted at from upstairs, go to sleep, you're meant to be in bed. With me doing, yeah, martial arts or trying to.
So did you went straight into the karate or did you travel and do some other stuff?
So I mean, look, at a younger age, we couldn't really afford for me to be taking lessons. So I started quite late. So, most people you see, they start sort of, before their age gets to double digits. But I started when I was 19.
Mm,
And so didn't do any traveling or anything like that for it. Just as soon as I started working and had my own money, I was like, right, this is one of the things I know I've always wanted to do, so I'll do it. And at the time, I was actually looking for a taekwondo club,
all
uh,
right.
because I had people in the family who did taekwondo, and I always looked up to them as really sort of extra tough people. Obviously, then back in those days, I didn't know anything about any martial arts or any real differences or anything like that. I just knew a couple of people who did taekwondo and they were super tough and they, super strong and fast and all the rest of it. Obviously, there's different styles, different, not styles, but different branches of taekwondo, aren't there? There's
Yeah.
like the hardcore, and then there's like the one that everyone takes the mickey out
Yeah.
of. So
I
it
like the
was
I like their organizational WTF. It's
Yeah,
a
I
very good.
know. I always laugh about that as well. Yeah, kind of
Who come
goes.
up with that name? You just
Well, that name probably existed before the other thing, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, but it's someone I worked with, I just worked in a superstore at the time, and someone I worked with said, "Oh, well, you should try this class in West London in Southall," and it was Gurmit Singh Shihan's class, and that was it. I got hooked from the first couple of lessons basically, and never looked back. And
yeah.
I'm really grateful for it as well that I found that place.
So which branch of Goju are you doing?
It's Goju Kai, so
The Japanese one.
it's a mixture. Yeah, well, I've kind of mixed it up, and not fully through choice originally, but obviously as I learned more about martial arts and about karate, then it's more of it has been through choice. But originally, majority of my influence is Goju Kai, so Yamaguchi
Hmm.
lineage, and again through Gurmit Shihan, and that so that was probably about, I don't know, 11 years of that. and then a little bit of a break from training with anyone specifically. It was just my own training. I had my own dojo, at the back of the house sort of thing, and trained there, did my own stuff. And then I found a Goju club because the reason I had to leave there was I moved house, miles away,
Mhm,
60 miles away. So I found a club locally eventually, which recently started up at the time. It was about 2015, I think, 2014, 2015. And that was with Sam Nelstrop Sensei in Milton Keynes, which is
mhm,
closer to me in Bedford. And so his lineage was through Shihan Max Bedo, and I think that, if I'm not wrong, is through Gary Spires, maybe.
mhm,
I should know. Um, but they were originally Goju Kan, which was like a more Okinawan lineage, I
mhm.
think. And then they soon after I joined, they sort of moved over to IOGKF. So it's still Okinawan, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
probably a larger organization, but more structure. So yeah, that was them. So then that's when I started experience. Actually, there's different lineages and different sort of variations on things. Even include to how you start the kata, including that sort of
Mhm,
thing. Before that, I wasn't bothered. I just thought I'm happy with the teacher I was with.
mhm,
Uh, so it's only in the last, well, since I started teaching, really, I found out that there's this massive world of differences. Uh,
mhm,
and then now I'm starting to see it and going, right, look at my own path and where do I want to go with it? And that makes everything converge again,
mhm.
almost comes full.
Because you're doing in a global Goju as well with Paul and Michelle, right? You
Yeah,
you
so
you
that's
part of
more
that.
like doing the seminars. I obviously follow them. I've got like an affiliate membership with them.
Mm,
Via the other organization I'm affiliated with, which is the Karate Jitsu Gakkai. So
mhm. That's
Shihan
Ben Craft and
Ben Craft and Fernando. Yeah.
mm, yeah,
So
nice people.
awesome guys. Yeah, yeah. And it was their seminar that was arranged where we met.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, they're awesome, and that's had a really beneficial and powerful impact on my karate as well, on sort of and which way I'm going with things. So yeah, great group. But what was your question? What were you asking me again? Is it
I can't remember.
the,
How
the,
did you
the basically
how
yeah?
did you end up here?
So I got introduced to the Enfields basically through them, through Ben Craft, etc. And yeah,
Mm,
again, it's I do love that. I don't know if we can call it a cliche now, but again, it's the truth. I do love that thing that Bruce Lee said, which was, um, you know, keep what works for you, discard
mm,
what doesn't. Discard what is useless to you specifically,
mm.
and that's kind of what I've been doing.
Yeah, I think everybody have to get to that conclusion and just start finding your own way instead of being a carbon copy of somebody because it's very hard to be the person that you not are. Like I said,
Yeah,
you're gonna hear the kids.
the kids. Yeah, 100%. And I always say to my students as well, what we're not trying to make robots here. I've one of my main adult student who's been with me the longest. He's 6'5", ex
Mm,
kickboxer. I'm not going to be able to do everything he can do. Just
mm.
purely reach alone. Like just the
Yeah,
other Thursday, yesterday, we had a session, and everyone has good days, bad days, right? And this particular session, I on one of the rounds, I felt like I couldn't get near him,
mm,
and it's just the reach. He was just keeping me away, either with his legs, which are like massive, or with his hands. Either way, he can do that, reach my head,
yeah.
and I'll be
Eh,
nowhere near him like this. So yeah,
I
so
know
that
the feeling. I know the
yeah.
feeling exactly.
So next round, I had to think to myself, okay, how do I change it up? So obviously we're rotating with different partners.
Mm,
I thought, okay, next round I want to try something else. And this is one of the things I love with the sparring is, unless we've got something specific we're training for, which we are at the moment, we've got a tournament coming up. But generally in dojo sparring for us, we keep it light. And the
mm,
reason for that is that it allows people the space to try different things. Because
mm,
for me, it's like the sparring shouldn't be you just either you dish out a beating or you take a beating or a bit of both and then go home. It's like,
mm.
have you improved after that lesson with the sparring or not?
Yeah, funny how that came about because if you look on Thai boxers, they all do light sparring. They fight hard in.
Yeah.
And just being all the time injured is not fun.
100%. And part of that way of thinking that I've just mentioned was actually in discussion with that very student, the
Mm,
kickboxer. Danny is there. Shout out to Danny, by the way. Awesome, awesome guy. All of them are. All of my adult guys are brilliant.
mm.
But yeah, so shout out to him, and I discussed this stuff a lot with him because he's been with me the longest. He's obviously got experience in martial arts as well. We're very much similar minded in terms of our approach to things. So yeah, and why wouldn't you take some of the input from your students to help
Yeah,
decide the direction of your dojo, right?
yeah. Well, like I keep saying to my guys that, if I'm there alone, there's no dojo, right? If there's
100%.
no student, there's no dojo. So
Yeah.
yeah, we created community as well. It's not me being authoritarian. It's like
Yeah.
kind of democracy, and we all try to find the way that suits us best. But we're doing light contact as well because the simple thing is that even you're not getting paid millions, there's no reason to get hit in the head. It's just not worth it.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
It's not. No.
I don't want to butcher your first teacher's name.
Okay.
The can you say it?
So so he's Punjabi, Sikh, and so am I. So the proper way of
Mm,
saying it would be Gurmeet Singh. That would be
mhm. Cool.
the proper way of saying it. But
So,
obviously, it's what we have to do the Western. We don't have to. I suppose you know non-Punjabi speaking people could learn to say it that way. It's kind of
mhm,
similar to I always joke about, well, not always, but sometimes joke about this where you know, when some people go to like an Italian restaurant and then they
mhm.
try to pronounce the things on the menu in an Italian accent,
Yeah, yeah,
sometimes to kind of show how cultured they are. And I was
yeah.
like, you wouldn't do that in Indian restaurant. You wouldn't you think it'd come across really badly. So why is there that difference? But no, it's Gurmeet Singh, and
Mhm,
but obviously most people will say Gurmeet Singh.
mm. So the Sensei Gurmit, what I was heading with it, my name's memory is utterly poor.
I know the
So
feeling.
Gurmit Sensei, I've seen that he's starting to have a quite a strong following in Poland.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, if you train with him and if you spend some time learning from him,
Mhm,
honest opinion, and I know you're going to think I'm biased. There's no way you couldn't.
mhm,
He's highly regarded in the Goju circles by other highly regarded people. He really knows his stuff. The thing about him is he's always not really bothered with social media and stuff like that. I think his son does more on that, but he himself, he's not. He's always just kept a low profile, or so it's kind of like one of those if you know people,
mhm,
right? That's it. But he's got such a broad experience in martial arts, broad breadth and depth, basically. He's been teaching since
Just wait.
1979.
Sorry, my daughter's asking something.
That's
What do you
okay.
want, Lauren? Sorry, I'm
Sure,
gonna
right?
have to edit that. Yeah, yeah, she's been
No
naughty
worries.
today, so she's not allowed to watch the TV. So it's
Oh,
a major problem. Yeah,
um,
because regarding your teacher, that's I only learned about him from your post. I
yeah,
never heard about him, and I thought that it's probably somebody who's got a good knowledge.
yeah.
He's highly regarded, like you said, but he's not bothered with all the social media and stuff, and he just keeps training.
Not really, and it's one of those their dojo where their dojos exist in the areas they exist. They certainly had a reputation back in the day. I don't know about now, but because of how environments change, but they certainly had a reputation back in the day for being quite tough and hardcore. So, and he had a reputation of being a really good fighter as well.
Mhm,
Still does, I guess, and that's why people go to him. But yeah, he just hasn't really. He's kept a low profile, but he's so passionate about teaching, so passionate. It's really ridiculous because I recently went to a seminar with him. Bearing in mind, I started with him in 1999.
mhm,
We're in what 2024, and obviously because I moved away, I've had a long gap of not really seeing him or anything like that.
mhm,
But recently, with changes at his end, I went to a seminar, and he teaches just the same way with the same passion he taught before.
mhm.
I just can't
So,
believe the energy. It's unreal. But yeah, so like I say, keeps a low profile, but someone who is so well researched and so well trained himself that yeah, people need to try it out, I guess.
So was he kind of influenced you or kind of inspire you to teach as well, or how did you come about to decide teaching? Because
Ooh, good
I've got
question.
quite a few students who are completely not interested in teaching and they just want to train. So it takes a very special person to decide that, yes, I want to teach and start the school and going through all the troubles of running a school because everybody thinks it's so easy. But,
Yeah,
if you know the behind the scenes, there are challenges like in every business or
yeah.
passion.
Okay, it's a good question, and you forced me to think about it. And the inspiration to teach, I suppose the seed was planted when I was at Sensei Max's dojo in Milton Keynes. So he always said to me that, he found me to be really well schooled, so to speak, and knowledgeable, and I sort of knew my stuff. And and so occasionally, if I was with, because at that time his dojo was just growing, it's quite big now, but uh, the adults session certainly they weren't there were just a few people. And so obviously, naturally, if you're training with someone who's a beginner or something, you might tweak things that they're doing, whatever. And it just kind of grew from there. And then a few times when he was away, I would stand in for him and cover for him, sort of thing. And it went well. And I just got a buzz out of it. It was a really good feeling. And, seemed to, uh, when lightning strikes, it was kind of that sort of moment.
Mm,
So, and then couple that with a friend of mine who has a son who has a particular condition. Um, and I genuinely thought, and I think it did. I genuinely thought that Sanchin kata would really help his
mm-hmm,
son, and he was 6 at the time. And so I just sort of said, with your permission, I think this would really help, and a bit of karate training and that sort of stuff, obviously modified to specifically to him to try and help him.
mm-hmm,
Because another thing again from Gurmit Shihan I got through his teaching was he wouldn't just teach karate, he would teach you about the body and physiology and
mm-hmm,
actually philosophy as well. So there's a lot of that sort of stuff. So I've internalized a lot of that, researched a bit more on it as well. And so yeah, so I started teaching this kid. And yeah, it's quite close to my heart. So I'm getting a bit
mm,
quiet now. But and that kind of helped with the spark to teach, basically. And so it just grew from there. And I thought, okay, well, why not try a class? And October of 2018, I was there for probably 4 sessions, just me. A
mm-hmm,
couple of them, like a couple of family members, took pity on me and decided to come along so that I wasn't just training by myself doing cutters.
mm-hmm,
And then the school I was hiring the hall from, they suggested why not come to an assembly, and
mm-hmm.
that kind of kicked off from there, really.
Cool. And how big is your school now?
Um, it's around about 37 students, so not huge, but
Yeah, but
I'm
that's a
happy with
decent
it.
number. Decent number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually have never marketed or advertised or anything really, apart from the odd sort of Facebook post on certain village groups or something. But looking at actually growing it now properly. So
Mm. Cool.
hopefully,
So do I.
yeah, in another year's
Stars.
time, let's see if we can triple that.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I'm
Yeah,
sure you will succeed. Um, can you tell us more about the Budo Collective? Because
so
you started that and kind of goes ups and downs, quiet, a bit more.
I can't, look, a lot of a lot of these things have stemmed from just conversations, random conversations, either with adult students or family, or someone like yourself maybe, right?
Mm,
And so this one, I couldn't tell you exactly where the idea came from off the top of my head now. It might have even been just talking to my wife in the car. We're driving, and I was like, "Oh my God, this would be amazing." The
mm,
the original idea was, to it would be super cool to have a retreat where you could just go and have some me time. I think because at the time when this idea came about, I was so stressed and busy with the day job, the
mm-hmm,
accountancy stuff. I was doing crazy hours. And I was like, I could just go away for a week or even a few days and
Mm-hmm.
just immerse myself completely in karate or any other martial art. And it'd be super amazing to have like an elite level instructor.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was just like, there must be other people who want to do that. And if it was a small group of us, like let's say 10 of us,
Mm-hmm.
got enough people there to partner and rotate with, but not so many that it takes away from the experience.
Yeah.
And I was like, you could mix that up where you could, just imagine training so hard you're sore or whatever at the end of the day, and then, in the evening you're gonna go get a massage, maybe sit in a jacuzzi or something, work, rest it off, and then back again the next day. And if you could do that for a short burst and come back refreshed to your horrible day job, it'd be amazing. So that was the kind of the initial part of it, and then I saw it just sort of developed and grew from there into, well, between myself and some other really close people to me, we've got quite a good skill set, a solid skill set of what I call back office support. And that could be accountancy, which I do, business advice as well, because I've been doing that 25 years. And then graphic design, my wife's a graphic designer.
Mm.
We've got a videographer in the group, who's, well, you've seen, she's done some of our videos. Shout out to Anna as well. And then, IT as well, IT support, that kind of stuff. I was thought to myself, I'm good with this stuff because I've got people who can do it all for me.
Mm-hmm.
But there's other dojos that have to pay for all this stuff, right? And you probably have to go to lots of different places to get it. Well, it might be better if you go to someone who has a dojo, who understands martial arts, who can
Mm-hmm.
understand where you're coming from, right? So yeah, why don't we offer that? And then the other part of it, I just bolted stuff on that I thought would be super cool. So then the embroidered black belts, and then the
Mm-hmm.
merchandise as well.
Oh, and I've seen the interview with and video with Steve Law Sensei. I
Yeah,
found that really, really interesting. So it's nice to see that you're doing, and I'm sure there's a market for it, with all the stuff you're offering. So um, just need to start advertising it more.
100%. And with the advertising, the videoing and stuff, the content was part of the plan, part of the
Mm,
strategy, if you like. Um, I mean, originally it was okay, we're going to do one a month or one every couple of months, something like that. Uh, Life got in the way, to be honest with you, and we're
mm,
only just getting back on track now. So there are, the Kyokushin video, about,
mm.
you were very, very, very kind to advise me on as well, because I was nervous as hell. But we can talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, we will.
But yeah, Steve Low Shihan, I think most people say sensei, but he obviously is at that Shihan grade as well. Again, just awesome guy. And the experience, you can just feel that coming through. The passion, you can feel that coming through. I love
Mm.
talking to people like that. And just so gracious, so kind, so warm as well, and welcoming. Thank you very much, Steve Lowe Sensei, for having me there. Um, and just the dojo, when you see the dojo in
Yeah, yeah.
pictures,
I had had the pleasure to be in this dojo.
yeah, I know. And
Amazing.
you're just like, I have to go there. And then Anna as well, she's nuts about this sort of stuff like me, which sort of helps being a videographer and being
Mm,
crazy about this stuff. And she was like, when she went there, her jaw was like this, hit the floor.
mm. Is
So
that
yeah,
even more
brilliant.
amazing that he done it himself? It's just
Yeah,
like,
I know, because he's a joiner as well, isn't he? So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so even more amazing from that point of view. The only thing was I in the pictures I thought it would be bigger. It was a bit smaller than I thought, but
Mm,
still, it's absolutely amazing.
yeah.
But yeah, so that and that we had a brilliant time coming back. Then some shit hit the fan, not with me, but with other people, and
Mm-hmm.
it just put roadblocks in the way to everything. But like I say, we're back on track now, and hopefully we'll be doing lots more of these things. Uh, the next one, well, I won't say what the next one is. I'm
I
trying to,
don't say it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is doing what you do, getting hold of people and
Yeah.
arranging a time to meet up and do stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It is a hard work, and what I don't like is people taking advantage of it, and you say something in trust or goodwill, and then it's twisted
oh,
and taking you for a ride. So, but that doesn't happen very often, so don't be discouraged. But it is like everybody says that in martial arts, the all the tide brings all the bolts together, right?
Mm,
The
yeah.
problem is that on some boats are pirates. So
Right. Right. I'm with you. I get it. I
yeah.
get it. Good analogy.
Um, so you went to, obviously we've been talking through the messages you ask because you hadn't had experience with Kyokushin, so you've been asking what to expect and how the rules working and stuff like that. And so tell me about how it went. How's your personal feelings
Yeah.
and what do you think?
Yeah, it went really, really well. It went
So what was the concept?
well, the
Start
concept was
from there.
yeah, the concept was they were doing 50 bouts of Kyokushin style sparring. So
Hmm.
as you know, full contact to the body, but no contact to the head. Uh, Kicks to the head were allowed, and then obviously the usual safety points, nothing to the knees, nothing to the
Hmm.
groin, which was interesting because I always thought to myself, ours is kind of the opposite. We don't go full contact, we go semi-contact, but then we allow hits to the head and to the groin as well. But to anyone who knows what they're doing, it's obvious why there are the differences with the full
Hmm.
contact and semi-contact. With if you did face strikes with full contact, people just end up in hospital all the time, right?
Yeah.
So I've never obviously I know about Kyokushin. I've seen it. I've watched loads of the knockdown videos and stuff like that. So they were doing all I knew is what I saw in the advert, and the advert was it's 50 rounds. It didn't even say how many minutes each round was. It just said
Hmm.
50 rounds. Kyokushin rules. It's here in Peterborough, and that was pretty much it, right? This time, this date here. Come over, and you know, most of us, I don't know, you probably included, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but certainly myself, I suffer with imposter syndrome when it comes to martial arts quite
Yeah.
badly. And it's always, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough. I don't train enough, you know, but learning to give myself a bit of a break because, you know, life is life. So I saw it and I thought, well, Kyokushin has genuinely always scared me because
Hmm.
I've always thought, could I take that or would I just get killed? And so very nervously I was like, okay, got to do it. I have to do it. Good. And so yeah, it was preparation bout. So it wasn't probably it was good for me that it wasn't full, you know, bare knuckle killing each other like you would in a knockdown tournament. It was
Hmm.
preparation for a tournament. So preparation bouts, therefore they toned it down a little bit.
Hmm.
Right. And then so yeah, so turned up there and the whole the joke of it is the whole way there, I'm with one of my students who was helping out with videoing Julia. I was saying to her the whole way there, I was saying to her, I hope there's no big guys. I hope there's no huge black belt there because I know I'm going to get put with this guy. And they're going to be, because Kyokushin, I know their kicks are super fast and they just have this really relaxed and fast way of kicking. And then we parking up, literally, we just got to the car park and this guy's walking past the other way, massive, like well over 6 foot, probably about, I don't know, 20 stone, something like that. And I'm just like, oh, he was tying his belt as he's walking. I was like,
Yeah.
I know I'm going to end up with this guy. No. Anyway, did it. But you know, like I say, luckily for me, it wasn't full hardcore, but also the guys there, they were really, really, um, you know, cool guys as well to spar with.
Mm.
You know, really respectful and all the rest of it. They looked. I'd like to look at it as they looked after me a bit.
Mm.
Having said that, me being a bit of a nutter that I am, I did tell them like I kept telling them, all right, you can see it in the video when it comes out because we did video. But I kept saying to them, okay, you can hit me, you know, go for it, hit me harder in the body because I
Mm.
and it only occurred to me completely after the event when I was reviewing some of the clips. I was like, hang on a second, I'm the only one wearing gloves out of the adults, right? Apart from one guy. I'm like, that massive black belt guy, he's not wearing any gloves. He's hitting me bare enough. I'm like, why did I not think of that at the time? So, but you're too focused on the
Yeah,
actual thing
yeah,
and survive, and well, at the time trying to survive it. Um, I will make my excuses right now as well, which is um, I went to that off the back of about 6 weeks of being really, really unwell, just
yeah.
colds
Mhm.
and flu, just non-stop. So the stamina was just sapped completely. And yeah, so I was like 95% over it. I still wasn't 100% myself. So did it off the back of that. So yeah, felt good. You know, I thought it's either going to go reasonably well or completely horribly, and it was all right. Uh, yeah, the impact was fine. I was really I guess happy with myself that I was okay. I took it. I took the impact, and it didn't kill me completely. And it kind of just I in a nutshell, I saw something that was really scary that scared the hell out of me, and I thought, right, go and do it, and I did it, and here I'm at the other end of it.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's funny how we make it worse in our heads.
yeah, 100% with lots of things, right? It's true.
Mm. Yeah, we had a change of address, and I was asking here for our CIC company, and there's silly thing. I've been advised go to a church and to our gym and to community center and speak about moving your CIC there.
Yeah,
And I was dreading it, and I was thinking, you're a grown-up man. You're going for a conversation, not for a war. And my anxiety was really high,
yeah,
talking to an old fry lady,
yeah,
which turned out to like, yeah, we sure we'll love to have you here, but it's just like
yeah,
making it in my head that it's
yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
disaster. It's just that fear of being kind of judged and maybe refused a little bit, and then somebody tells you no. We are kind of conditioned to fear of that no answer, I
100%.
think.
So, question for you on something like that. Do you at that time, if you look back, did you already have any evidence that it was going to go badly? Did you have any previous
No,
historical evidence? You didn't. So it's
no,
funny, isn't it, how we make
yeah,
that
yeah,
with no evidence whatsoever that it's going to
no,
go badly.
no.
We make that up.
I think the awareness now through the years, I learned that my brain is my worst enemy. So it's just right, shut up, we're doing it,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
for yourself. And I've got that with everything, and 99.9% of time, it's always my head
Yeah.
making it worse than it is.
Yeah, and that's
Um,
what makes us procrastinate as well.
exactly,
Action
yeah.
is key. I think that's where some of the, if you look at people who do military training and stuff like that, they're programming them to just go, don't think,
Mm.
just go. Yeah, it's very useful. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna have
but
a my mouse drying out. One sec.
interesting that most of the people, and I speak to many martial artists, and they all still suffer with um, imposter syndrome, right? It
Yeah,
took me, I still didn't get rid of it. I still thinking going on seminars, why people would pay to train with me, right? It's funny how our brains work. It's very, very
but
bizarre.
having done your seminar and trained with you, you definitely, that you have a lot of valuable stuff there. Um,
Thank
I
you.
I still teach some of that stuff, I've taken it back and teach some of my students, particularly the gradual build up to break falls that you had. So
Mm.
like when you've got your knees on the floor and then twisting your hips, and
Hmm.
landing on your legs either side, that kind of thing. Yeah, there's lots of good stuff in there.
Yeah, thank you. It, but it takes time to kind of convince yourself that you're more worthy than you're not, and the teaching helps, right? Because you've got the feedback from your students that tell you that oh, that was a great session, or this was a great session, then you slowly building up that confidence in yourself. But
Yeah,
going outside and like you went for a Kyokushin and thinking that what am I doing here and stuff is it's kind of consuming. And if you allow yourself uh to your brain take over, it's just not good.
yeah. Yeah. It's interesting as well, thinking of your brain taking over, the other way around, your muscle memory as well. There
Mm.
were a few times within that it was quite difficult to not hit the face. There were a
Mhm.
few times during those sparring bouts. One time I grabbed someone's arm literally for like half a second, and then my brain went, "No, you're not allowed to let go." And then the guy said to me, "No grabbing." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I know." It's just out of habit or out of muscle memory, out of the training we do. Because Goju Ryu, as you know, we learn to grab and try to
Yeah, yeah.
manipulate the body and the limb. So there was, and then so many times, because when they come and they do this full contact smacking you in the body, they're leaning into you and their face is like right here in
Mm.
front of you, and I'm like, your face is like literally half a foot from my fist. I could just, and I just had to like, no, you can't hit them, you can't do anything, you can't, hito them.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the problem with the sports, right? You've got some set of rules, and if you don't practice them, it just your like you said, your muscle memory takes over, and it's easy to go and do something. And because I'm coming from the knockdown to towards the grabbing, punching in the face and stuff like that. I still got, habits. I'm fighting and my hands just going down slowly, slowly creeping in, and then I wake up. Oh, I know, hands
Yeah.
up. So it's
Interesting.
very, yeah,
Sorry,
go
go on.
on.
Well,
That,
interesting. I was going to say it's always part of the attraction or the part of the need for me to do martial arts. Obviously, Bruce Lee, like as I said, was the inspiration, but what part of what's kept me going is the interest in self-protection or self-defense,
hmm
and knowing you can handle yourself as well. Um, and so one of the things that attracted me to, let's say, for example, the dojo in Milton Keynes with Sam Nelstrop Sensei, he's Kyokushin black belt as well. So his original
hmm
background was Kyokushin, and then he moved over to Goju Ryu, sorry, and he was second dan in Goju Ryu when I joined him. And that literally, when I saw that, when I was searching around, I thought that's a brilliant combination. I have to train with this guy, and it was the right decision as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of Kyokushin guys start, especially when I don't want to sound rude, but when you're getting to a kind of higher age, you're starting to
Yes.
start looking for deeper meanings, and Kyokushin is fine. 90% of Kyokushin is sport orientated, right? It's very
Yeah.
difficult to find. It's like, I know Terry in UK, Terry, forgot his name now.
Burkett.
Um, Terry Burkett, that's right. He's doing a little bit. Shihan Cameron Quinn does a great job. And it's funny enough, we've got a very similar concept, although my teacher never met Cameron. He only knew him from the books. But because we had a lot of influence from the wrestling, we've got very, very similar applications and stuff like that. But I spoke to Sensei Cameron, and it was like, if you start doing grappling, it just the conclusions are very similar.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, lots of people from Kyokushin goes to Goju-ryu to look for that deeper meaning and application to a kata and kind of search the history and follow the tree where we kind of came from.
Yeah. Yeah. I know another one. I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I won't say it. But there's another guy who's a Kyokushin, I think third dan,
hmm
and he's slowly doing more Goju Ryu type stuff or coming to seminars and stuff like that.
Mm.
Again, really nice guy to train with as well.
Yeah, yeah. I find that 90% of people in martial arts are nice people. It just again, as with everything, that the 1-2% of bad apples do the most noise, and then getting a bad
Another
reputation for everybody.
interesting, another interesting thing on that front is you also get some people who in person they're great, but then if they're on Facebook or something or some other, social media, they're
Mm.
completely different. And you're like, hang on, this isn't how I came across, how you came across when I met you. And then,
Yeah,
yeah, some people get quite ranty and come across quite full of themselves on social media.
yeah.
Um,
I
and
had actually that problem for myself because you obviously try to look as best on the social media, and I've got issues with my English, and I always kind of putting myself down English wise, the spelling and stuff like that. And then I was thinking, if I'm gonna be perfect online and people come to the seminar with me, they're gonna be hopefully disappointed. So yeah, leave it as it is.
yeah,
People know you're making mistakes, so they're gonna know
yeah,
that it's authentic.
yeah. Think that approach to lots of things in life is becoming more my favorite of forget it doesn't
Yeah,
matter. Yeah, I kind of keep that. You must have seen that meme where it's like showing the whole galaxy and then a little arrow pointing saying you are here.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the way to think about things as far as I'm
Yeah,
concerned.
it doesn't matter. And like we said, 90% of it is in your head.
Yeah,
Nobody cares. I like the quote. I can't remember who said it, but you know, nobody cares what you're doing because you're a second plan actor in their movie. They're always the first plan and you are the second plan, and nobody cares about what's the guy in
okay.
far back does it, isn't it, in the movies.
Not
So,
heard that one
so
before, but yeah, interesting.
people are so self-orientated and we're thinking about ourselves that it
Yeah,
really doesn't matter what other people do.
people don't think of as think people don't think of you nearly as much as you think they do, basically.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. You put it much easier than me going with my
I
analogy that I
stumbled.
cannot remember.
I stumbled. I know how this is going to come across on video. In normal conversation, it seems okay, but then when you see yourself on video, you hear every single stutter,
Yeah.
hear it all, and you're like, I sound like an idiot.
Nah, you sound very good. Yeah, you see, you're putting yourself down. You shouldn't do that.
But well, on that particular front, I could say that, and also I could say I don't care. I, I'm, you know, as the last 3, 4 years have progressed, I'm caring less and less about silly stuff like that. Just
I
doesn't
think
matter.
that's a part of growing up, isn't it? You're getting older
Yeah,
and then you just go less and less caring
part of
about.
that, and part of you could call it kind of a branch of a midlife crisis because you start
Mm,
realizing you're closer to being dead than you are not.
yeah.
Yeah. So don't care.
Yeah, enjoy the life and stuff. What's for future for a Budo Collective and your club?
Future for Budo Collective, man. I just well, my club, as I said, I want to grow it. I want to make it a club for fighters, but with obviously the karate background, with the karate ethos, with the sort of not all of it because we're not Japanese. I don't want to. I've never been one to sort of go over the top with the airs and graces that and the kind of full on everything has to be the way the Japanese do it. I love. I was watching your podcast with one of my favorite people. He doesn't even know I exist, but Shay and Zoe. Is it Jagger or Jaeger? I don't know.
Che and Zoe
Yeah,
Jagger.
yeah, the South African Goju Karate Center. Love those guys. Like I said, they don't know I exist, but I follow them. They're brilliant. I actually tell my students as well that if you're not sure about something, 100% go and check their channel out. So I share it with them and say, go and check it out because chances are you'll find the answer there. I'm
You should you
definitely
should you should
gone.
reach out to them. They're super approachable and super nice people.
Yeah,
If
I
you
may
want, I
well
can
do.
connect you guys.
Yeah, thank you. I may well do. Just there may be something going on, right? But
Che is usually listening to my podcast during the breakfast. So Che, if you're
awesome,
listening, get
awesome.
connected with Daljit.
Thank you so much. I think I am recently connected with Zoe, so which is great. Thank you very much for that. I couldn't find Shay, but now that you've said that, maybe we will. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't think so. Che is on social media.
yeah, yeah. I love those guys. Zoe's sense of humor just kills me. I'm just laughing with her little comments on the videos. So yeah, but I can't remember why I brought them up now. What did you ask me about?
I asked about the future of the club.
Yeah, future of the club. So, well, would love to have more more videos like for let's say the Steve Lowe Sensei one, the Koryo Kudokan one.
Mhm.
Love to have that. So that was there was the club and the Budo Collective. For the Budo Collective, more of what we've been doing, just a lot more, just focusing more on it, more of those videos. Um, as you've seen, I tried arranging a sort of soft launch, doing a seminar with Gurmit Singh Shihan, um, but just couldn't get the numbers.
Mm.
Various reasons behind that. Some I'm not too happy about, which probably not the right place to go into here. But yeah, but that was a soft attempt at that. But really, I don't know whether to do it as a go big or go home kind of thing, right? Or really try and go
Mm.
for it. Because really the idea was to have the seminar like that, but abroad in a nice location, in a nice warm
Mm.
location. Because to me, it's like, well, you don't have to go to Okinawa to have the experience, right? There's loads of really knowledgeable, really skilled teachers in the West as well.
Yeah.
So there's that. And so yeah, so to grow that, to actually make one of those seminars happen and to try and make it regular, you know. So that's that. I mean, I'm not too fussed on the merchandise side. It would be cool to see that take off as well,
Mm.
but it's all down to me. Well, down to me with maybe help. There's that. Then on the club side, I think this is where I went into Shay and Zoe. On the club side, love to see that grow with more students, kind of triple what I've got now, um, but make it more of a dojo with fighting, and then I went into the whole thing about the airs and graces. Um, it was Shay who was saying on your podcast last that people try and in the West try and make themselves more Japanese than the Japanese.
Hmm.
I love that,
Yeah.
and that he pointed that out. Yeah, we don't need to. They're doing things their way. And I think we also should bear in mind that the Japanese would still call us gaijin, right? So
Yeah.
outsiders. That's how they are. That's how the culture is, and more power to them. There's nothing wrong
Mm.
with that. But just uh, be authentic. Be who you are. I am who I am. My background, I could say one of the things I love about karate, not about karate, about martial arts, because there's a synergy there for me. Because as a Sikh, we have a bit of a warrior culture as well.
Mhm.
So that part of it kind of resonates with me.
Mm. So
So yeah,
did you not want to go into the six kind of fighting styles? Because I think that Silat is or
no, it's
some form of
called
Silat.
the Sikh martial arts is called Gatka.
Oh yeah, that's
That's
right.
the
Yeah,
proper pronunciation, and it's very much oriented towards weapons.
and knife
So
is that, isn't it?
from that perspective, it's not super practical for modern day UK, although maybe it could
What do you mean? What do you, do you
Listen,
not watch news?
with, with the knives, the kind of knives that you couldn't even really call them knives that people carry around nowadays. It's more
Yeah,
like swords. Maybe I'm wrong,
crazy.
but in terms of being on the right side of the law, it's not super practical. The other thing with Gatka is they it, the places that practice it, I can't say 100% for sure, having not really tried it, but I would say a lot of things like that, they they tie it closely to the religion.
Religion. Mm.
Now, I do consider myself Sikh, but I'm not a what would you call it? A baptized, fully devout Sikh,
Mm-hmm.
I live by the principles, but I don't necessarily go and do all the airs and graces again, right?
Mm-hmm.
The principles generally are just live and let live, basically, and live a good
Yeah.
life, live a clean, healthy life. That's it,
Mm.
in
The
a
same
nutshell.
same with me and Christianity, right? I've been born Catholic and I'm not practicing Catholic, but I try to do just be a good person.
Um, yeah. So they tie it to the religion with those sort of things like the martial arts. So I'm not sure whether it would be like, well, to take part, you have to have the full, the turban
Mm-hmm.
and all the rest of it. I don't know. I don't know. I'll find out. I'll find
Mm.
out. But I remember as a kid, because I've never, even as a kid, I never had a turban or anything like that. My dad didn't, it was just that's just how our family was. And I remember I really, really wanted to learn the tabla, or you would say tabla, the hand drums. Really wanted to learn it. I loved it so much. I loved the sound of it. I loved the feel of it, all the rest of it. And the only place at the time you could really go and learn it was at the temple.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, "Oh no, you can't because you don't have a turban. So if you start wearing a turban, grow your hair, then you can come and learn it. Otherwise, no." I was just okay. So then I never learned it.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna plug this in. The battery's low. But yeah, go for it.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to seeing that Budo Collective gonna grow, and I think that because the first seminar wasn't as perfect as you imagined, that's unfortunately the reality. And I had a lot of seminars when I've been lonely, and I'm gonna have one in this Sunday where it's gonna be five of us. So
I'm coming. I'm coming to
oh,
that.
cool, cool.
Yeah.
Then be six
When
of
you
us then.
say when you say five of us, is that including me?
No, so it's six of us.
Six of us. Even number. You got training partners.
Yeah, plus Don and I, so be
Yeah.
eight of thing where you know it just part of the growing. You just you win
Yeah.
some, you lose some. So
Yeah.
don't give up and just keep going with it, and I'm sure it's gonna be successful.
Yeah. My oh, thank you. Thank you so much. My thing with seminars now is personally, which is a bit hypocritical because I'm expecting other people to travel for mine. But personally, I'm getting very tired of doing long journeys with
Mm,
the state of the motorways and roadworks and cameras everywhere, and you can't move without, someone watching exactly what you do. Just like,
mm,
yeah, driving is becoming quite a chore. But yeah.
mm.
But yeah, no, thank you. really looking forward to all those things happening. Um, More videos to come, more hopefully interesting things to come from that. Thank you for your support on that and also your encouragement. It really has made a difference.
Pleasure. Always pleasure. Thank you very much for your time, Daljit, and I hope to have you in the future. And we talk about your growth and your success.
Great. Thanks very much. Yeah.